Well, if you've been to ACF at least once, you have probably seen or heard my daughter Hannah. She is in second grade this year. She is a wonderful light. When we made the switch over to ACF, there are hundreds of places for her and many opportunities for her to shine. She'll usually be the first one to volunteer to sing and dance in the worship center, whether it be in the aisles or on the stage. She loves Awana. She's on her third book. We've been there for a year and a half, and Awana is the highlight of her week. She loves her leaders. Her leaders have been absolutely fantastic, and we pray for them every night because they're such an influential part of her little life. What all changed for my dad was in 2009, he was diagnosed with West Nile virus. He had the kind with meningitis and encephalitis. The news of his diagnosis impacted the family greatly. We had in-home care. I was one of the caregivers at the beginning, but I let mom know at a very early stage where my line was of what I would be able to handle. And right before he went into a coma, I was about 8 months pregnant with my daughter Hannah, but he was able to come out of that, and for the next few years he was just fine. For years he had little quirks, and we would always just joke and just blame it on the mosquito. But his personality, while it never got violent, it had definitely changed. He started doing things that just weren't my dad. And when we went to the doctor, they told him that he had frontal temporal lobe dementia. He was 57 when he was diagnosed. They told us that there was no cure. So here's my dad, you know, big, strong guy at 57, which is not old. And they told us that the mosquito did this. The brain damage from the meningitis and encephalitis of the West Nile was what was responsible for the frontal lobe dementia. When Dad passed away, they had been married for 34 years. I have never seen my mom have such strength. I looked at my mom just kind of for guidance, but she will tell you that if not for God, that she would not really have that guidance. Losing Dad took 3 years. We kind of lost him a little when he was first diagnosed with the dementia, and then we lost him in 2016. But we didn't lose him forever. There at the very end, he looked at a cross on his wall, and he looked up as almost through the ceiling and looked back at the cross and looked again, and Mom said, "It's okay, just run. Just go be with Jesus." And I think if you know where that person's going and that you will see that person again one day in God's timing, you can't help but be sad, of course, but also celebrate that you're going to see that person again. Looking back, I'm very glad to be a year past his death as opposed to the year going into it. During these times, you really find out who your friends and the friends that you thought were like family were. We've been here at ACF for going on 2 years now. Not to knock our old church, but we did not have the same sense of family that we do here at ACF. We had only been here about a year, and we had people from the church coming to Dad's funeral. Before then, we had people from the church checking on us to make sure that we were okay, asking if we needed anything. It's just really nice and comforting and makes for an easier time when you're surrounded by people who get it. Knowing that God is with you, even if you may not feel it, even you may feel the most alone that you've ever felt, and that's probably when He's the most with you.